Hey everyone, Aaron here. Welcome back to another first anime impression slash review. And today we're looking at Kabaneri of the Iron Fortress, or Kogetsujo no Kabaneri. Now, in the last several months since this thing was announced, there has been a non-stop wave of hype that has surrounded this show. I mean, every forum you go to, everywhere you see, people were talking about how great this show was. They were thinking that it might be even better than, My Hero Academia, which, as everyone knows, is really hyped up right now. But they really thought it was going to be a lot better than that. And there was a lot of people, including myself, that really did want this show to come out. They wanted this to finally reveal itself because the trailers for this were amazing. I mean, I showed this to, I think, several people that aren't huge anime fanatics, and they wanted to see this because they just thought the trailers were so cool for this. That finally, when it finally dropped, I watched it last night, and I would have had a review out last night for it, but I was out of it. I didn't want to do a review last night of it. But this morning, I rewatched it again just because how great it was. It's it's actually really freaking great. It's probably one of the coolest anime I've seen this season so far. Is it the best anime I've seen this season so far? I don't know. I'm gonna stand by with that for a second. But right now, I have to say that it's definitely the leagues of contenders of the best stuff coming out so far in this season. Because I mean, there's a lot of shows that have been coming out this season. We had ReZero, we had My Hero Academia, we had My Yogi, which was the Lost Village, I think it is. What else? We've had. I kid you not. I've losing track of how much stuff is coming out this season. But regardless, we need to know how is the show? Why was it so great? Now, I'll tell you guys right now with my because I'm gonna plan on doing more of these episode one slash review slash impression type videos from now on because I know you guys really seem to like them, and that's I mean I've had the most views on these things since starting them. I did two of them so far, and most of them have hit beyond 100 or 200 views. I mean, I did one for ReZero, if you haven't checked that out yet. That had 694. It's almost 700. For me, that's a huge number in only 4 days. But so I plan on doing more of these right now. But I'm gonna tell you guys right now. I think I'm not gonna do episode by episode reviews. Two reasons. One, it's a lot more effort for me because I am a college student, and besides that, I do have a personal life and that lives outside of YouTube. So doing reviews all the time, every single episode coming out, is a little bit too much for my schedule. I don't. It's not that I can't per se do it. I just don't want to do it. The other reason too is again I don't get paid for this. I don't have any means of income for this. So honestly, doing reviews every episode reviews, I'll save that to my friends who actually do make this as a living and make this as a kind of job for them, and let them be the ones that explain every episode. For me, I always want to do the first episode from now on, and I'll do the whole series in total. So this way I think you guys can know where to get at with my reviews. But anyways, let's talk about Kabaneri because I think you're sick of hearing me talk with this. So Kabaneri is an interesting kind of concept. Right now, what we know about the series so far is that it's a kind of pseudo Edo period time period with steampunk elements where the world has been overrun by things called Kabaneri, which are creatures that are, or Kabane, excuse me, that's what they're actually pronounced as. They are creatures that are zombie-like in appearance, but they have this weird kind of caging over their hearts, which apparently is their kind of weakness. But their caged heart is so powerful that no regular weapon can like dent them. And so even though the humanity has actually tried to create weapons so far to stop them, they have kind of failed. They've only been able to kind of stop them or forward stop their progress, but nothing more than that. Now they have multiple stations that run that I guess they have humanity trying to live on all these different stations, but most of them are falling because they're just too strong. These Kabane grow in numbers because they infect people via bites and via other wounds and stuff like that, and then more of them pop up and more of them. It's just now we seem to get to our last couple thousand survivors. We don't know exactly how many places are left, but we presume that we're running out of places to survive in. We meet our main characters who I'm going to try to pronounce their names because I know they're kind of weird. We meet Akoma, for example, who looks like he's the kind of researcher. He's trying to build a weapon that could stop the Kabaneri. And in the first episode, this is kind of a spoiler, but it's not, per se anything surprising. He actually does create a weapon that can apparently stop and pierce their hearts. And also, he gets bit in the first episode. That's kind of interesting too. Yeah, definitely a spoiler here with this. But we also have Mimiru, we have Ayame, we have Kurusu, we have a whole bunch of kind of people that we don't know what their full range is in the show right now. Right now, we just have it seemingly focused on Akoma, and we have it focused on Meimei. I think her name is Meimei in the Japanese pronunciation of it. But they seem like they're the two front runners right now. The one girl is the girl with the sandals, and I think she's using, I forget what the actual items called. It's like a yo-yo, but it's not a yo-yo. It's one of those weird toys that you can flip the ball into like different holes on the slots. If you've never seen one, look up on oh, I can't think of the name for it. It's killing me too. But yeah, it's interesting. Right now, we don't, even with this first episode, not a lot was announced with it. You just know enough that you can say, okay, so the world's getting overrun by these creatures. They have one weakness, and humanity is kind of getting scared because they are easily threatened by them. That's all we know from the first episode. That's why I had to say I really love this episode in terms of art and in terms of style and soundtrack and impact. But story-wise, I'm thinking that right now it's doing what Attack on Titan did, where you're kind of throwing this, you don't know what the hell's going on. It's just everywhere. And I don't have an issue with that, but I know a lot of people who really care about story might have issues with that, trying to figure out, what's going on, who's the main players of this story besides, Coma. We're gonna have other characters that really show their face and are the main focal points of the show, or are there gonna be other stations? We don't know yet. And from the first episode, again, just the focal point we know is the enemy. We know some of the main players, and we know what the situation is, but that's about it. But like I said before, what you're really going to be looking at with this show is that the art is amazing. The art is something that you can clearly tell the people who made Attack on Titan made, because of the character designs and kind of the similarities with like the weapons, for example, where they use steam-powered guns, and the back of it is actually connected to a steam generator. So you think right away, oh yeah, it's like the movement gear that Attack on Titan people use to go fly around everywhere. But besides that, like I said, the art's amazing, the animation's amazing, the soundtrack's pretty good. I like the soundtrack. I think that's the opening that played at the end of the first episode. I'm not gonna say that yet. It could be the ending also, but it was really good. And I just think that the show has a lot of potential to be amazing, but I'm also afraid of it because I also know that Attack on Titan, as good as Attack on Titan is, it's one of those anime that, to me, is overhyped than what it is because the story, the story for Attack on Titan is hit or miss for me. And I think it's always been like that because really the manga has always gone more forward with the story than the animation has, because the animation's way, way behind the manga. But first episode, what are you gonna say about the series? Right now, it looks amazing. It sounds amazing. It could be amazing. Hopefully, it will. I just don't know if it's gonna be the main show of the season. I think it's going to have the potential to be one of the better ones of the season, but I don't know if it's gonna be the top one yet. Anyways, that's it for today's review, guys. Again, I'm not gonna do episode by episode reviews. I know a lot of people want me to do those because they think, oh, I would be suited for that. Honestly, I get more pleasure at doing like the first episode review to talk about just kind of how the show's going towards what its roots going to, and I'm gonna do the whole series, of course. When the series is done and the last episode's out, the review will be out the same day. But anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. I hope you enjoyed the review. Please like, comment, subscribe. Until we pass crossing in the next review. Have a good one, everyone. Bye bye.